the video started. Let me go in here and share my screen. All right, so should be presenting now. Nope, not yet. Sorry. There we go. All right, now we're ready to start. So let's go back down into our class. If we go into third and fourth period, we'll go in as a student so you all can see that as well. And I'm seeing the 5th/6th period because I'm a student there. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. So today, our agenda, to go over that really quick, we are going to the new student orientation project. We're going to finish that project up today, be done with that kind of unit or project. And we have one more thing to do in there, complete the gradebook check and video reflection assignment. We'll go over that together and let you finish that. And then number 2 is we're going to launch a new, our first project. So we're going to do kind of a modified project-based learning and distance learning. When you come back, we're going to hit project-based learning, hit the ground running with it. We're going to do a lot with that. But step 1 is what we're going to cover today, and it's called an entry document. If you were at iMiddle, you should have done these. This will be a little bit of a review for you, and then we'll go from there. So let's look at that first thing. So when we scroll down, we'll see that there's now 2 current projects that are open for you to view. We, of course, are going to finish this new student orientation project first. So I'm going to scroll all the way down and go to this right here. And I can close benchmark 4 because we're done with that. But gradebook check and video reflection. So let's open that up, take a look at that. So it says, for this assignment, you will open the Google Doc link below, click on the file, make a copy, or click on file, make a copy, and answer the questions provided. So I want everybody to go ahead and do that. You're going to open up that document. I'm going to slow down and let you do that. So to do that, you're going to go into our class, go down to the new student project that we've been working on. All the way at the bottom of that project is what's called gradebook check and video reflection. I'm going to click on that link, which is going to open up a Google Doc for you, okay? Now, this Google Doc you cannot edit, okay, because it's my Google document. I just gave you access to it, so you have to make a copy. So you're going to go to File, and you're going to make a copy, okay? So if you go to the File button and hit Make a Copy, that will make a copy for you. Now, here's an important part of this. So don't just keep it copy of gradebook check. I would name it, again, I always like to put my name in it. So like John's gradebook check, okay? Or Mr. Richard's grade, whatever you want to put. John, but your name, so Susie or Stephen or whatever it might be. Put your name in there, and then I would move it into your World Studies folder, okay? And I've got a bunch of World Studies folders. I'm going to do English World Studies. I'm going to put it in that folder, select it, and then it's in that folder, ready to go, okay? Then you're going to go back, and you're going to close your the old copy, okay? You got your new copy. Just close and get rid of the old copy so you don't get confused, okay? And you're just working from this copy. And I know for some of you all who are used to Google Docs, you feel like I'm going really slow on this, but I had tons of questions yesterday with the trying to do the Google Doc with a video and answering those questions. So I want to make sure everyone was on the same page. If you are confused at all, go into that and ask those messages and try to figure out, and we'll try to make sure, ask questions if you have it, okay? So, all right, so now that we have this Google Doc open, let's look at what we're doing here. So it says, go to your World Studies gradebook in Echo and look over your grades for World Studies thus far. Don't go there yet. We're just going to look at these questions first, okay? Then we'll go over there together and look at a gradebook example. So there are 6 questions or 7 questions. So number one is, what is your overall grade for world studies? So we're going to try to figure out what your overall grade so far. What is your agency grade? Because you have an agency grade for all your agency assignments. And then what is your oral communication grade for world studies? So what is your oral communication grade by itself? Number four, do you have a 0 in any assignments in your grade book? So do you have any assignments that aren't submitted? If so, what assignments do you not have completed? You may complete these assignments for a late grade. So yesterday we talked about submitting assignments late. So if you submit an assignment late, it's 10% off. But that is so much better than getting a 0. Okay, even if it's 2 or 3 days late, getting partial credit is a lot better than just taking the 0. Okay, because a 0 is very difficult to come back from, and you don't want to fall behind. Don't let yourself get behind, okay? Because it's going to be really hard to catch up. World Studies, we do a lot of small activities, a lot of small lessons. I do a lot of formative assessments to see, like, are you getting it? Are you figuring it out? And if you're missing those, it's really going to get you to fall behind. So make sure you're getting those submitted. And that's why I want you to look at your grade book and make sure you are, okay? And everything in your grade book right now, you can resubmit, okay? Now, if we go kind of a week past the end of a project, so like end of next week, I won't take some of those assignments because it's just been too long, okay? So number 5, open your video assignment. So the video you did yesterday, video assignment, introduce yourself assignment, and look for the feedback that I gave you, okay? And we'll look at where that is in just a second. You're going to copy and paste that feedback so I can see that you found it and you saw it. You're going to copy and paste it into this question. So that shows me that you can find your feedback, okay? And then number 6, rewatch your video assignment, introduce yourself, recording, and reflect on how you did in the recording, okay? So you're going to actually watch yourself, and I know that's uncomfortable sometimes, but it is a great way to learn, what am I doing whenever I'm presenting? What am I doing so I can see how I look, how am I professional, what should I change, okay? What should I do better? What did I do well? What did I do really good job with and keep doing? So those are your 2 questions. What did I do well, and what should I do better next time? So I'm looking for like one sentence answers on these. Very simple. Just show me that you can find this material and then reflect on your assignment, okay? So I'm going to take you back to World Studies, and I'm going to take you to my student grade book, because I am a quote-unquote student in here. So if we look here, I can see my grade book, and I'll throw myself up here while I'm recording. But you can see my grade book, okay? And I purposely didn't do an assignment and, mess around with this a little bit so that you could see what maybe missing assignment looks like and not completing one fully, so on and so forth. So right now I can see that in this class, I have an 82% B-, okay? So that is your overall grade, okay? Whenever you go to look at your assignment. And then you step down, so that's number 1. Number 2 asks you what's your agency grade. So you can see right here, my agency grade is a 70%. That immediately tells me that I have a C- in agency. I have not been doing something right in agency. So it's going to make me want to scroll down and look at this agency column for what I'm missing. We'll get there. And then oral communication is 100%. So I did a good job with my oral communication, okay? So if I scroll down and I look for why am I missing that agency grade, I can look for any assignments that I'm missing. Okay, so I'm missing, I never took the quiz for the OIA norms quiz, okay? So I know, and that's another question on here. I think it's number 4. Do I have any zeros? So I'd write in there, yes, I have a 0 for the World Study Syllabus OIA norm quiz. And then I can also click on this. It will take me right to the quiz. If I click this blue link, it will pop me right in there, and I could take that quiz right now, okay? So you can do that today. If you're like, oh, I am missing something, I need to make this up real quick, you can get that done, okay, and get it submitted. But put in the assignment that I have for you that you're missing it. All right, and then I have my video assignment, introduce yourself assignment right here. So I got a 5 out of 5 on agency, and I got 100 on the oral communication part. And most people that turned it in got 100, okay? The big issues that I saw was missing, you either went too short or some of you all were really fast whenever you're talking. You're just trying to get through it. You weren't looking, you were just reading. But most people did a great job just being heard, visible, easy to understand. You answered the questions and you did a good job. Okay. Miss Stockdale, I see that there's questions popping up. I assume we're good, so I'm going to keep going. And I'm assuming you're seeing those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm addressing them.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much. This is
Yep.
working. Good deal. If I wanted to go in and look at that video assignment, so I can click on this and see how I did. Oh, right down here is where you see your feedback. So if you're not looking at my screen right now, you need to look at my screen because this is very important because you have probably not seen this before, maybe in another class, but I haven't shown it to you and we did not show it to you in the orientation. So if you go to the video assignment, introduce yourself, you'll see right down here that there's this little speech box. It means it has feedback. That's very important because this is where we as facilitators will let you know how you did, give you feedback. And this is our spot, okay? So you need to look for that. When you see that, click on the assignment and you'll see down at the bottom, you can see where I recorded. Great picture of myself. But you can see the feedback right there. This right here is what you're going to copy and paste. So you can see, John, I really enjoyed your video. I really like the Renaissance as well. I look forward to getting to know you. Make sure to make eye contact with the camera when speaking, okay? If that was a student, I didn't even take credit off on that because we didn't really go into big detail on how I want you to look at the camera the whole time and stuff like that. I just wanted you to be heard and visible and fill up the time and not go too slow. So that feedback is really important. I want you to find that. So you can hit Command C or just double click and hit copy, and you'll take that over and you'll put it under number 5, okay? And then number 6, you're going to go and rewatch your video assignment, introduce yourself. So I can do that right in the Dropbox here or right in the assignment. If it's not popping up for you, go back to your assignment. You'll be able to see it there. Record button, and you'll be able to record yourself. See myself right there, okay? And I didn't do a full video there. I was just doing an example. But that is all accessible to you. So that is your first assignment for the day, okay? Now I'm going to keep going on and show you how to do everything. Yep.
We have someone that says that to look at the document, they need access.
Okay, so when you go to the document, I have this set up to where anybody, and I'll double check, but anyone with the link can access the document, but I'm double checking. Maybe I didn't do that. All right, tell them to try again. I changed it to anyone. I thought I had it set up for anyone. If you're under your OPS, logged in under your Google OPS, like if I go up here to my Google, and I'm under my OPS, it should work out for you. If not, then that is available to you now. So let me know in the messages or let Ms. Stockdale know if you are not able to get that now. But going back, you are going to rewatch your video and then comment, and you're looking for what did you do well, what should you do better next time. All right, moving on. So I'm going to let you do this after I'm done talking with you guys, okay? So I'm kind of giving all the instructions first, and then you're going to go back and work on these things. Anybody want to pop into the Google Meet and ask any questions about this? Okay, so let's go back and look at what else we're doing today. So if we go back to our activities, on our agenda, number 2 is launching the new World Studies First project, okay? So step 1 in project-based learning is the entry document. So when we do a project, we give you a mission, okay? It's kind of, and we call this, usually it's either an entry event or an entry document. This can look like a community partner coming in and speaking to you all. I'll bring in, once we're back in class or maybe even online, I'll bring in community partners to talk to you all about our project. I might have them FaceTime or Skype or Google Meet. We might do a project or an activity first, but usually there's always this entry document, okay? So this is the first step. And you might have seen this in some of your other classes. but we're going to do our first one here. So we're going to go into the new project, World Studies First Project, and we go up here. We can close down because we're kind of done with this project once you do that last assignment. And we're going to go into World Studies First Project and go to this entry document assignment. So we're going to open that up. We got lots of information here, so let's look at this together. I'm going to kind of make this bigger. You guys can see it. Grab, tuck myself down here. Okay, so on this I said read all instructions before doing anything, okay? There is a video linked in the World Studies Agenda on August. So this video I'm making right now, that will be given more depth instruction. So if someone happened to miss or wasn't able to be here because they're sick or something like that, this is going to be available to them. Open the Google document provided below and click on File, click on Make a Copy. That will allow you to edit the document. So the same thing we've been doing. We're not going to click on that yet. Let's look at everything, okay? So on this document, you'll be reading and annotating for knows and need to knows. Can anyone pop in? I'm going to try this. Can anybody pop into the Google Meet and tell me what does annotate mean? Anybody brave enough to do that? Maybe someone's writing in the messages, but that's okay. I'll tell you. Annotate means to make note, okay? It just means to make a note, okay? Or to highlight or to circle. It means to write on the document somehow, okay?
Hey, I want to give you all kudos. I'm looking at Guardian, and those of you all that didn't know what annotate meant, I like that you were Googling it. Good job.
I just didn't give you enough time. You guys were trying to figure it out. I just didn't give you enough time. Lesson learned.
We talked about this, Mr. Richard. You got to slow down a little bit.
Slow down. I got to slow. And you guys feel free to speak up and be like, I need a second. Hold on. I'm figuring it out. So don't worry to say slow down. I'm used to seeing you all in class. So, okay. So going on. So on in this document, we're reading and annotating for knows and need to knows. Okay. So annotating means to make note or to highlight or to, we're going to do a lot of annotating at OIA. Okay. A lot of kind of deep reading, really looking at what we're reading. So the first one is for knows, which is green. We're going to annotate green. And then need to knows, which we're going to annotate light red. So light green and light red. So kind of green means go and red means hold on, I need to think. Okay, think about it that way. So then to define these a little bit better, it says knows are things in a project that you already know and don't need to figure out. So they're the things that immediately from the entry document, from the first go of this, I know this, I don't have any questions about it, I'm good to go with that part of the project. This is real life, okay? For example, the last year I bought a home, okay? I bought a new house. And that was a project for me because I was like, I don't know where to begin, okay? But I knew that my entry event was I want a new house. I want to move out of my house. I think Miss Stockdale just moved as well, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're still moving slowly.
It's a project, right? So we're trying to train you to be the kind of thinkers that are thinking about how to solve these problems. So like buying a new home for me, one of my no's was I knew I needed to get a realtor. I knew that, okay? Now a need to know for me, something I didn't know, is who my realtor was. So on a need to know was who will my realtor be? But my no was I know I need a realtor. Like I'm good there. I know I've heard about that before. I know I need a realtor. I know I need to have savings. I know I need a down payment on my house. I know that I need to get in contact with a loan agent for my mortgage. I knew all those things, but then I had need to know. So that's what goes in light red. So need to knows are things in a project that you have questions about and need to do research, think about, or ask a question about. Okay, so those are things in the project that you have to ask questions. Okay, and that's what we do different here at OIA, and we're trying to do distance learning. Is instead of me just sitting here going, "Hey, this is what we're going to do," and here's your lessons, and I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. I'm going to try to put it on you. I'm going to try to make you think about what do I need to ask, what do I need to know, what do I need to figure out. And I know that's a weird feeling being in school because you usually don't get that. Okay, you usually get a teacher that's at the front of the building, front of the class, and just going to tell you. And honestly, in the last week, 2 weeks almost, or a week, that's how you've been. You've been very traditional learning. I've been telling you what to do. You've been doing it. I'm trying to switch that around a little bit and give you more ability. So need to knows for buying a house is kind of some of that I mentioned. Who is my realtor going to be? What is a PMI? Because I found out really quick what a PMI is, and it is a huge waste of money if you don't have enough down payment, okay? So I had to ask these questions, and then I had to figure out, who do I need to ask these questions to? Do I need to go to Google and start Googling things? Do I need to talk to my realtor? Do I need to talk to my father or my mother, someone that's bought a house before? So these need to knows start you on the path of how to solve your problem, okay? So that's why we start here. And we have you develop as students and as a class the questions you need to ask to make this happen, okay? So on the Google Doc, you will read and highlight the knows in green and highlight the need to knows in light red, okay? So kind of our goes and no-goes, our knows and need to knows. So on the second page of the Google Doc, you will write out your knows in I know statements. So I know that blah, 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 or I know this. And then what you already know about the project in this space provided. Then, and I'm moving my face here so I can read this part. Then you will write out your questions concerning your need to knows in the space provided. So right now I am training you to be a PBL student, okay? And you're learning your first steps into that. When you are finished, you must submit the Google Doc to the Dropbox. And then I did put in a video. So if you are kind of like, I don't remember how to get this Google Doc into it, there's a video there linked to show you how. And I'll show you how to do it right now as well. That's just there later. But you go to this plus sign, and I've already done one, but you go to choose a Google document. It'll pop this up. And you'll be able to select. And my computer's really slow because I'm recording and Google Meeting and everything like that. So it's going super slow, but I'll select it here. Y'all have done this before. Watch a video if you have questions, okay? So let's go and look at the Google Doc together. So we're going to start this. I'm going to give you all a minute. Open up this Google Doc. Make a copy like we had before. So everyone should be going into the Google Doc right now. If you have not done that yet, and you're going in and going to File, Make a Copy. Actually, guys, pause. Do not make a copy yet. I'm so sorry. Don't make a copy yet. I know. Sorry, my bad. Don't make a copy yet because we're going to do it together at first. And then once we have what we need, you can make a copy of that because I want you to watch me first. So you can open it up, but come back to my screen. Sorry about that. And watch what I'm doing first. And then make a copy of what I've done for you. Okay?
I need the access to get in there.
Are you the same student that had trouble earlier?
Yep.
It's not doing it for me either.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not doing it for me either.
Me either.
Same here.
Nor me.
I hear you.
Me either.
Did you get that? We just want to make sure they're having trouble.
Yes. Actually, that's probably good because I told you to copy it too quickly. So I'm even going to go in and redo the link on Echo. That way you guys can have the brand new link.
You don't link to it should work.
Is it working now?
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, mine's working.
Okay. Anybody it's not working for?
I couldn't find it.
So the link is right here. So open the Google documents right here. This link here. But for now,
It's working now.
okay.
It
For
still says
now,
it's not found for me.
say it one more time.
It still says that it's not found for me.
Okay, so let's watch what I've got going on right now. Everybody just watch my screen, and then we'll make sure everyone can get the copy of it. So you're not making a copy yet. You're just watching my screen right now, okay? So everybody's watching what I'm doing. So we're going to read through this first. We read through it together, and then we'll go back and annotate. Okay, so I'll read it for you. You can read along. So it's addressed to our Innovation Academy. This is actually our old address. I did not update that. I'll have to update that. But that is our phone number. But it says, "Dear scholars, we are to embark on a great adventure exploring the world and its vast cultures, history, and literature. Prior to any great journey, one must prepare accordingly. A charter must be struck. We as a classroom must come to an agreement on our norms, procedures, expectations, and how to work in a distance learning environment. As a charter is written for the classroom, individual goals will be set as well. You're tasked with writing a letter to yourself, which will be opened in the future. The letter will discuss your current mindset, hopes, fears, and goals. The letter will follow an appropriate letter format, including a heading, salutation, introduction of the writer, purpose of the letter, utilizing paragraphs, correct grammatical punctuation, and choosing the appropriate word choice. The letter will be saved and opened at a later date, which will give you a perspective on how far you have come. As Magellan sailed the Trinidad on his voyage around the world, we will use project-based learning, PBL, as our engine of discovery. Guided by our school-wide learning outcomes, our SWLOs, we will assess our learning and abilities. The charter and letter to yourself will be centered on the expectations and guidelines of PBL, the SWLOs, and the freshman rubric. This project will lay the groundwork for the rest of the school year. The charter will guide our learning and actions. The letter to yourself, to your future self, will be a constant reminder of your goals and aspiration. The journey begins here. Good luck, your facilitators, Mr. Richard and Miss Cecil, and we throw Miss Stockdale on there as well. We are here for you as we go. So we've read through. You got kind of a general idea. You know, we've mentioned a letter. We've mentioned a charter. We've got some stuff we need to figure out, right? So now we're going to go back and do the annotation. So you're following along with me because I'm going to let you copy this after I annotate the first part, and then you guys can make a copy of that and then continue editing. Okay. So let's start with this first sentence, this first paragraph, annotating. So we are to embark on a great adventure exploring the world and its vast cultures, history, and literature. So we know that. We know that we are in a class and we are in World Civ and we're trying to figure out. But none of this is really telling me anything about my project. Okay? So I'm not going to highlight any of that right now because it doesn't say anything I need to know to complete my project. It's just kind of an introductory statement. Okay? So prior to any great journey, one must prepare accordingly. A charter must be struck. I'm going to guess that there's some students out there that don't know what a charter is, okay, in this context, okay? So I'm going to highlight charter, and our need to knows are light red. I'm going to do this light red here. So I've highlighted charter. Another way you can do this, and it's kind of up to you, is you can click and you can make a comment. And this is kind of, cancel that. You can highlight it and you can make a comment out here. So if you want to work through as you go and comment on these that you highlight and say, need to know, what is a charter? Okay, it's up to you how you want to do it. I'm just going to highlight for now, and I think that's the easiest way, and we'll do that for now. And later on, we can do the other one. So a charter must be struck. And you might even highlight that whole thing. What do you mean by struck? What do you we mean writing, written, but what is a charter? We as a classroom must come to an agreement on our norms. Have we talked about norms before? Yes, we have. We talked about them yesterday for our whole school norms. So norms are the ways we do things, okay? So I'm going to highlight that in green because we've talked about this before. Now, if you are sitting there going, I do not remember that, you went too quick, I don't know that, you can highlight it in red, okay? And you can write a need to know on what are our norms, okay? Agreement to our norms, procedures. Probably don't know what our procedures are yet. We need to talk about what procedures are. So we're going to highlight that one in red. Expectations. Have we talked about expectations? We have through our syllabus, okay? So I'm going to highlight that in green. We know from our syllabus our expectations of coming to the Google Meet, submitting assignments on time, being professional, trust, respect, responsibility. We've talked about those. So we kind of already know some of our expectations and how to work in a distance learning environment. And I'm going to say how to work in a distance learning environment. I think you can go either way on that one because we're still kind of learning. So I'm going to do red on that because we're not really 100% on how to work in a distance learning. You might have questions about that. So, and if I highlighted it a color that you don't agree with, and you're like, actually, I still have a question, that's your job to ask that question, okay? All right, let's keep going. As a charter is written, so we see that word charter again. I'm going to highlight it again because that's still a word in this context. I don't know what it means. So you might have a question about that. As a charter is written for the classroom, individual goals will be set as well. You might be like, I know all my goals. I'm good. I am set. I've got like 10 goals in my head. I know what I want to do. You can highlight that green. I'm going to say red because I don't have my goals written out yet. Is written for the classroom. Individual goals will be set as well. You're tasked with writing a letter to yourself. Okay, so I know that I'm writing a letter to myself. That's green. I know from this project I am expected to write a letter to myself. I might even go in and be like, this is something I have to do. I'm going to put stars next to it, okay? Because I know, and you can go and edit it like this. You can write whatever you want on this. But I'm going to make this is important. I'm going to be writing a letter to myself, which will be opened in the future, okay? And you might have a need to know, like, when? When are we going to open these? Okay, so I'm going to highlight that in red. When are we going to open these? The letter will discuss your current mindset, hopes, fears, and goals. So we know that we need to include these, but we might have need to knows about that as well. Like, what is my current mindset? What are my hopes? What are my fears? All those things. So I'm going to highlight that one in red because we need to figure out what is my mindset. Sorry, I need to highlight that one as well. What is my current mindset, my hopes, my fears, and goals? The letter will follow an appropriate letter format. Okay, so I'm going to say I don't know what an appropriate letter format is. I've written letters maybe in the past. I think I know what it is, but I need to know for sure what an appropriate letter format is. And that's going to include all of this, okay? Utilizing period, grammar, appropriate word choice, so on and so forth. So I can also highlight that in red, and that goes with, okay, I need to make sure I figure out all these and know these things, okay? The letter will be saved and open at a later date, which gives you perspective on how far you have come. So I know that this is going to help me to give me perspective later on, okay? So that's something I know, that this letter is meant to help me later on. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to let you take on this last paragraph on your own, okay? What I suggest you doing is, and you can see how much I highlighted up here. A majority of the text is highlighted, okay? So do your best. Now, here's what I'm going to say about this assignment. This is your first knowledge and thinking assignment. And here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see that you are using this PBL thing. You are highlighting green and red, and you're really attempting to figure out how this works, okay? And I'm testing your knowledge of this and that you are figuring it out. So, and knowledge and thinking is 40% of your grade. As long as I see you trying and you're doing highlighting and you're asking questions and saying what you know, you're going to get the credit, okay? So you're going to highlight this last paragraph on your own, and then we're going to come down and ask some questions. So I'm going to do the first couple with you. So the no's are going to be, and I can kind of add this in here for you since I'm on it. We're going to look for, let's say we're looking for 8 no's, okay? And need to knows, I'm going to be looking for 10 need knows, okay? So no's are written as I know statements. So going up to this, you could say, I'm going to skip that one because some of y'all might not know what the norms are, but I know what the expectations for this class are. So I'm going to write in here, I know the expectations, and I think it's just really so, for world studies using my syllabus. Okay? So that's an I know statement that is linked to this right up here, expectations. Okay? Another one might be, I know I am writing a letter to myself. I know that I am writing a letter to myself. Okay? These things you know about, syllabus, sorry, that I know about what I'm doing. Okay? Need to knows are obviously those questions. So all of these different red ones, you are coming up and asking questions. So charter, questions. So what is a charter and how do I write one? That's a question. Okay. And think about the fact that you're asking me these questions. You're a facilitator. So I'm going to look through these and be like, what do they need to know? Okay. What am I going to help them to figure out? Okay. Another one might be procedures. What are procedures for world studies? Question. So you can see that this is actually pretty straightforward. What are the procedures for world studies? Thank goodness for Grammarly. So these questions, these red, and you can kind of go through and just go down the line. You can see that we might even have, it's going to be really easy to get 10 need to knows, okay? Because we already have, I've given you 2, so you only need 8 more, and I've given you 2 no's, so you only need 6 more. So this is going to come across real easy. I'll give you another freebie on need to knows, because this is always a need to know, is when is the letter and the charter due? So when do I have to turn these in? Okay. Does it say it in the intro document? No. So it is down here for you. So I'm going to leave at this point. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to change the link. So if you do not have it yet, I will go in and fix that. So as far as the videos go, I had 4 students from the last class, 4 students, Calvin, Jendea, Justice, and Hadia, I'm not sure how to say your name, Stallings, that had issues with their submission. They got a 0, but you did submit something. Will you come back and will you log in and show that to me? Or stay on the Google Meet so we can talk about it. Okay, so that's what I was trying to say. So reiterating what you have to do today. So there are 2 things that you need to do. Number 1 is do the new student, complete the gradebook check and video reflection. And then number 2 is complete the entry document assignment. Okay. So make sure you get those things done. If you have questions, we'll be available on the Google Meet or through GoGuardian. And good luck. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of the day. I'll be hanging out here if you want to stick around and ask questions. Thanks.